In addition, there will be a question and answer session. We will be taking questions via telephone and online via WebEx. To submit the question online via WebEx, please type your questions in the Q&A box located in the panel on the right. If you are in full screen mode, click on the floating till panel located at the top of your screen and select the Q&A button from the drop-down menu. To ask a question via the telephone, please press star 1 on the telephone keypad. I would like to hand the webinar over to your speakers today, Oracle's Product Strategy Manager for APAC, Mr. Paul Paulson, and Practice Manager Analytics, Mr. Deval Acharya. Thank you. Please go ahead.
A very good morning and a warm welcome to each one of you, and thank you for joining us today at with the webcast on the next big thing. We're super excited that you all could join us. Without further ado, let's get started with what the next big thing is. What are all this hype about digital assistants and how they can actually help you on your day-to-day functions as IT teams. So, as introduced, my name is Paul Paulson, or Prabhu Paulson, Paul for short. I work as the Product Strategy Manager for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure and Platform as a Services at Oracle. And we will be focusing on this is now, right? So, a lot of people say tomorrow is going to be brighter and the future is always brighter, but then at Oracle we believe that starts here today. And today we will go through a couple of very detailed, not the detail, more of a deep dive into how the future is already being shaped by artificial intelligence and machine learning, especially when it comes to how users interact with their day-to-day applications, be it customer support or interacting with your own HR system. So if you started, if you attended any Oracle session, you probably have seen this slide. This is a safe harbor statement, which is a disclaimer that most of what you would see is subject to change because this is a cloud-based technology. So we keep adding features, we keep deprecating features, and we add more functionalities as we go along. So the timelines, the releases may change, may vary, but in a sense, this is ideally what you have today. You will see demos towards the end. My partner and colleague, Deval, will show you some very exciting demos as we go along. What are two things that I will be covering, and Deval on the other end of today's question will cover more practical examples of showing how they, as an Oracle partner, have been able to take what Oracle has offered as a platform, make it more applicable to real-world use cases. So before I started on the whole journey, we want to talk about the whole transition of Oracle and the whole chatbots to becoming digital assistants, and how are they being offered from Oracle, the security aspects, etc. So I'm sure, all of you have seen this. So the first part is I want to go up and look at, I'm going to quickly use a little animation and show this to you. So if you actually see the journey for most IT systems have been with respect to on-premises and the onset of the cloud. And somewhere in between were hybrid for IT systems. So if you are in IT, you probably understand this fully well. For decades we've been on-premises, and recent 2 decades or less than the last 1.5 decades, 15 years, cloud has become a reality, and somewhere in between all of this is the hybrid cloud where you leverage both. Now, from an end customer perspective, this journey of digital transformation started the onset of the web, of the web browser itself. So if you look at it, the first change is that the web browsers became a medium of consuming content, of creating content, and also interacting with IT systems and other people. Now that journey continued with the web browser, the form factor taking a big change and becoming more mobile friendly, where you had apps first, where you were not going to a Firefox or a Google Chrome, but instead you were using an application. And that further went through a huge metamorphosis and became chatbots, where you would just open up. And so today you see if you book an Uber, the first part of your Uber booking is actually a chatbot saying, hey, your driver is nearby, your driver is 5 minutes away from your destination, your driver has arrived. So that part of it is completely chatbot driven, and then eventually the driver, says, okay, I am here, I'm at this, giant, parking lot, or I'm at that particular bay. And of course, with the onset of machine learning and artificial intelligence, this has further gone in and created these chatbots to be far more immersive, and that is where we're talking about these chatbots becoming true-to-life digital assistants. So before I get started on to this journey, so this is the journey that we will be covering today, and more of how this journey can help organizations. So the first thing is, done with the mobile. So that's where I want to start this whole conversation. We're living in a post-mobile transformation era. So this is where you're looking at before there was an app for every single, if you're a frequent flyer, you had an app for Singapore Airlines, or you had a separate app for AirAsia, you had a separate app for Malaysian Airlines. Now, of course, obviously, you don't want to have those options, and that is where you have players like Alexa or Google Home come in and bringing these integrations through a voice-over immersive experiences, and they are able to understand, like Google Home is able to give you insights like, hey, if you need to get to this flight, you have traffic, so you have to go ahead and start your commute right now. So that is where we are headed to. Now, this is just not just a face. Here's some data points that you can actually see. So when we spent some time developing our chatbot solutions, our DA solutions, digital assistant solutions, we spent some time with Facebook and Nielsen, and some research and some understanding of what's happening to the onset of the millennials, where first choice is not to talk, is not to send emails, but is to quickly grab the phone and send a text message, either via WhatsApp or traditional text message. And we are seeing that the spike in messaging is upwards of 60% in the last 2 years, and it's only going to increase. And the interesting part of it is, if you see here, there is a 60% increase on messaging in the last 2 years. Most of it is being done for businesses. This is where customer support prefers to use an informal medium like an app-based chat, or a WhatsApp sort of a based chat, or a line-based chat, to kind of get to customers as quickly as possible. And this is where AI has the biggest advantage of trying to make that conversation a lot more immersive. Now, if you were to look at the whole journey, now this is the data from Nielsen, right? Now this is what we're seeing, the views on Facebook. This was a Facebook commission study with Nielsen, so we worked with them to get this insight. Now we took that and we said, okay, how are we applying that to our technology? Now if you look at the first generation chatbots, you would see that these were user-initiated. This is very similar to, I really don't know if there are any first-gen bots anymore, where you need to go and say, hey, you know what, I need to book an appointment with the doctor, or, that particular bot was just able to get you bookings for doctor alone, but if you wanted to kind of do a quick symptom analysis using a chatbot, obviously the chatbot was not designed for it. So the chatbots were very, very user-initiated. You as a user had to go and get that working, and it just did one particular skill. And of course, with the advancement in technology, we saw that the chatbot was not only able to do bookings, but we are able to give them new skills. If you have an Alexa or a Google Home, you probably know what we're talking about, the skills, right? So you can add new skills to your bots. So the framework was created where you can not only add booking for a doctor, you can also do a quick symptom analysis and saying, hey, I need to find the right specialist. Do I have a cold? Do I have a running nose? Do I have cough? Am I running a fever? And now that, or is it, pain in the lower back, which basically means I need to see an orthopedic. So these sort of multiple skills were included in, which will eventually lead to the basic skill of booking an appointment with your orthopedic. Now, of course, this was how it was, and in fact, if you look at then too, a classic example would be, again, our Uber or our Grab rides that we use, right? So Grab automatically tells you that, your driver is near, he's come close, and quickly it switches to, the driver being able to interact with you through the second generation bot, where the bot is talking to you on a multiple set of things, and then eventually goes ahead and human interaction starts seamlessly. Now, of course, the third one is what we call as digital assistants, and they're no longer what we call as bots, right? They're more of where the bots have intelligence based on a lot of your interactions, which are stored either as cookies or as data that has been stored by the organization or customer information, and where it's able to tell you if you go and use a particular bot from a particular electronic consumer, your user ID says, okay, I know you own a Samsung phone or a Samsung TV or a Samsung Blu-ray player, and what are the things that I can help you with. So it's a whole generational change that we're going through, from becoming very simple automated chatbots to very AI-driven, proactive, headless bots. Now, in a couple of minutes, I am quickly looking at my clock, so the next couple of minutes, we will talk about the third generation digital assistants and what are the benefits of it, what are the security features that Oracle has to offer. I got, give or take, another 10 slides. I would want to quickly go through most of them and then hand it over to my colleague, Dhaval, who will be able to give you more insights on the real use cases. So this is a quick summary of what you just heard, right? So you looked at the Generation 1, Generation 2, and eventually the third generation digital assistants. So obviously, if you look at a comparison, so if you're already using chatbots, good, there is a great opportunity for you to migrate to digital assistants where you can have conversations and add new skills to the existing chatbot, as well as use AI for recommendations. Or not start on the journey, a great place to start because Oracle provides the platform that seamlessly integrates with whatever your solutions are and wherever your audience is. So the reason why chatbots or digital assistants make a very compelling story is they're instant. So if you are a B2B or a B2C, if you're a business-to-business enterprise, or if you're a business-to-consumer enterprise, irrespective of where you are, reaching out to you and you to your customers is very, very quick and instantaneous. The whole idea is that it is very expressive. Today, it's no longer, none of us send emails over text. Always alphabets like K, or you have a smiley, they're happy or sad. Now, how do you make sense of all that? Now, this is where you need to have a digital assistant that can do a sentiment analysis on a very natural human conversation. And of course, you need solutions that are convergent, where you should be able to have AI-based conversation, as well as a human-based conversation, as well as your customer-based conversation. All of them need to come together, and you should be able to also make payment gateways if you want to make payments on the fly and say, okay, you know what, I've done my booking, I've got my doctor's appointment, I want to pay in advance, or I want to include my insurance details. You should be able to integrate with other systems. Otherwise, you also need them to be intelligent, where they can preempt based on artificial intelligence on what customers have been looking for or what their particular challenges are. So, what are the advantages that you saw of moving away from traditional chatbots? Digital assistants give you these four unique advantages. They're instant, they're expressive, they use millennial communicational skills, they're convergent, they work with payment systems, other booking systems, and gateways, and of course, they are very predictive using artificial intelligence. So, all this sounds very good, Paul, but how can my organization start leveraging digital assistants? So this is where Oracle has been doing some groundbreaking work. Now has two ways of offering this solution to you. You can go ahead and use Oracle Digital for Oracle SaaS, where if you're using Oracle HCM, Oracle ERP, we do have chatbots built in to our solution. So that is how we are learning. When we pre-integrate digital assistants into solutions, our customers are able to identify the real use case for them. Or we also give you an option where we can actually integrate them with Oracle Mobile Hub. So irrespective of if it's a homegrown application or a third-party application, the Oracle Mobile Hub can help you integrate a digital assistant with customer analytics. This is where you see a digital assistant as a part of the hub. It can work with your development tools, your overall architecture, and tie it up with a core mobile strategy. So if you look at the actual offering, we give you both. If you've got a SaaS offering, we put it out of the box, or if you have a homegrown application where you say, I don't have an Oracle SaaS, but I have a homegrown application, we give a full-fledged solution that can not only help you build mobile apps, but pick up customer intelligence, analytics, and make the whole experience seamless and digital. Now, a couple of use cases where we are looking at this. So this is an actual deployment. I don't want to get to the details of this because this is a very detailed architecture, but this is exactly how it looks like. If you look at the form factor in which a digital assistant can work, out of the top, right? So if you look at the way top, you see your users can use digital assistants on the web, they can use the mobile, they can use a messaging service like Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Line, or they can use voice-based entities like Alexa, or all of this can be automative or immersive as now necessary. Now, this is built on Oracle app development tools or third-party development tools. We're open to both because we offer APIs and SDKs. Both are available, which you can build, and these can connect to anything from an Oracle application to a database to an Hadoop cluster or any other data source that you have. So irrespective of what your existing infrastructure is and what your customers are using, Oracle offers everything in between, from augmented reality to digital assistants to mobile platforms that could help you to build a connection between your customers and your IT systems seamlessly. The next question is, Paul, who are the customers are using this? So this is a huge set of customers across Southeast Asia. I've tried to keep as much of Southeast Asian customers as possible. So a couple of customers you obviously will recognize from Southeast Asia that are available, that are on this one. And if you need more specific customers, we can take it up one-on-one. We can give you some customers to whom you could speak to, and we'll be happy to share their benefits of going with the Oracle Digital Assistant. And of course, this is the external validation. While Oracle has always been striving to be the best in the solution that we make for our customers, be databases or digital assistants, this is the endorsement that we have from Gartner. We have been given the leader quadrant in the Magic Quadrant. We are a leader again in Forrester Wave, and as well as we are the leader in the OWIM Decision Matrix. So, effective of which one you prefer, Gartner, Forrester, or OWIM, we are the clear leader when it comes to customer interaction or employee interaction using digital assistants. Of course, let's get into a little feature-based conversation that we have here. The first thing is, a lot of people come to me and they say, Paul, I do get the way chatbots work and digital assistants work, but don't you think that, you need to be a full-fledged, person who understands AI, who understands all of those things? The answer is clearly no, and the reason is the next slide will give you a clear input as to how these work. Now, in addition to what you saw as the full-fledged, if I were to go back, if you remember, you saw this middleware deck. This is very specific to Oracle, where you have all these different solutions which make up the actual middleware that connects your customers to your apps. But in the third generation, what we've also done is we've also built in skills that are available in the skills store that's hosted by Oracle, which can help you with very specific business applications. So irrespective of where your business applications are, whether using ERP, third-party, or HCM or CX, we have multiple skills built into Oracle Digital Assistant. Just like you would load a skill into Alexa, you could load a skill into the Digital Assistant, and obviously the Digital Assistant is available to you from a whole galaxy of options, be it Slack, be it Microsoft Teams, if you're an Office 365 customer, or if you're Facebook Messenger, Alexa, or Google Home. So we've understood how this model works. We've tried to make this as simple as possible, where you as an organization, based on what you require, the Oracle Digital Assistant, or the ODA as what we call it, can seamlessly integrate with different skills across the board. In addition to this, we also have a platform understanding which is very, very unique to us, because as Oracle we understand industry. So if you look at it, we include things based on industries which are specific to retail, utilities, and financials, apart from the regular HCM and ERP. Of course, this is a great platform to do a natural language search or NLQ, where you can just say, hey, I'm just looking at a financial statement for this year. Obviously, the financial statement could vary. It could mean your credit statement, your debit, or both. So this is where natural language query comes into action because of the machine learning backbone that we have. Of course, given the want of time, I'm going to quickly go through this. You're going to have a demo at the end of it. In addition to this, major concern is how do you go ahead and make all of these possible? All of this sounds very interesting, but it also sounds very complex. So this is where I've tried to condense and quickly show you the different ways in which you, organization, can leverage the middleware, you can leverage the skills built in, or you can go and build in a simple QA builder using an FAQ in a couple of minutes. If you have a CSV file, you can load the CSV file into Oracle Digital Chatbots, and it will work seamlessly. Otherwise, we can help you build apps. We can have a seamless handoff from a digital assistant to an actual support agent or a human being who can pick the transaction up and help you with processing an order or make a payment. And And of course, if you're part of the financial services or insurance industry, you probably know what Oracle Policy Automation is, where you can make complex workflows based on criteria and make multiple decisions available to you. So these are a whole different options that are available. And with respect to security, we do support all public channels through the authentication. We also follow SSO in case you're using Microsoft Teams, or you're using Slack, or using for integration. We do support SSO, so that way, irrespective of what your medium of reaching to your customers are, we can make the whole journey completely secure and safe for you. In addition, we also provide insights. So this is very critical with respect to chatbots. So you clearly know how many users are reaching out to your chatbots and digital assistants, how many conversations were completed to a logical end, how many were left abandoned, and it also gives you a sense of, why were they abandoned and how you can make the whole process a lot more easier to use. So why should you choose Oracle? A quick summary of everything that you've heard. We are the only we're the only vendor with a DA or ODA, Oracle Digital Assistant, which is multi-domain skill. So if you're looking for ERP skills or CRM skills, if you're looking for vertical skills from industry, be it retail or insurance, we've built those in. We also have the fastest time to market. The reason is because you just saw a couple of minutes ago how easy it is to build a chatbot. You can take FAQs which were built on CSVs, import them, and you can ready to go, or you can integrate chatbots into your mobile applications. And of course, the whole thing comes with integrated security, be it OAuth for public, SSO for your own internal usage. We support both, and we give you real-time insights on how the chatbots are being, or digital assistants are being leveraged, how many conversations, how many of them are going through, how many of them are getting abandoned. So that clearly gives you a view of how these work, and that is what has led Oracle to be named as the leader by Gartner, by Forrester, and now more recently by Ovum. So if you need to learn more, you can obviously go to oracle.com/digital assistant, or you can just drop us a note. We'll be more than happy to set up a demonstration for you and to take you forward with how this could help your organization connect better with its customers, with its own employees. Now, so much so for what Oracle had to say about Oracle, and it's always interesting to hear another third-party view, and that is where we have our partner who is present with us today. So Devel is practice manager for analytics, and he has helped a lot of customers along with Oracle in making chatbots and digital assistants a reality for many organizations. And Devel, do we have you? Are you ready to show us some real-life examples and share a little bit about your organization and what you have been doing for our customers?
Thank you for the introduction to the technology, and yes, I'm very much ready to go for showing some of the real-life use cases that can be built using the Oracle Chatbot service.
Excellent.
So I'll just share the what I'm going to talk about today is the process approach of implementing the chatbot as a technology solution, and then I have a couple of use cases which I will go through on the live instance and how the conversation is handled by the Oracle Digital Assistant. Eversys has around 1,000 plus customers across the globe, and we have 850 of them are on cloud. We are present in 19 countries, and we have more than 900 plus consultants working for us. So as Paul described the digital assistant. So what is a digital assistant? It is a tool that converts your communication channel, your text from or emails or messages from the communication channel, and connects with the backend application and gets you the answer to your questions that you have sent across using those channels. So the next slide talks about the EVOSys approach, the business-driven outcomes. So what EVOSys approach is to interact with the customer on the early basis before even implementing or thinking about the solution, and learn about the customer as to what are the business goals that they are trying to achieve using the technology, what are the domains that the customer is looking to enhance their offerings. Also the journey, like what is the journey that they are planning, and if they don't have any, we start with a basic POC of in the technology, how technology can help their domains, and then and work with them to have a journey of continuous development and improvements in their applications. Solutions can be, as Paul described, it can be on top of any homegrown ERP system or their existing SaaS-based, or there could be any other system that has that the customer wants to interact. So we help them understand how this technology can help, and then go ahead and build the solution for them. So as I already told you, these are some of the use cases that we have already developed for some of the other customers that we are presently working with, and these are some of the generic use cases that any customer would be interested in looking at. So talking about the enterprise applications for HCM, we have self-service as a offering, so where the self-service could include updating their personal information like emails, phone numbers, addresses, or updating their so just can go ahead and update their profile, which is on the ERP system, or raise leaves. So those could be some of the transactions that the employee can do. They can even claim expenses, so they can just simply upload a copy of their expenses, and that can be integrated with their back-end expense system. Or they can, or a chatbot can help onboarding a new candidate or employee. For supply chain, we have supplier registration, so a supplier can simply chat with a bot and can just provide the details, and the supplier will be registered on the system. Most of the places we have seen that this registration takes a while, and this could really simplify the process for them. Then the suppliers can check the purchase order status. So what is the status of the purchase order? Has it been released or awarded based on the RFQ that you had submitted or the quotation that you had submitted? Query your quotation and see what is the status of the. Then they can even query the they can query the inventory status. So they can simply type in an item and in warehouse number and see what is the quantity stored in that warehouse. And for financials, we have invoice payment status use cases. So internal customers as well as suppliers or external customers can easily log into the chatbot, and they can check their invoice payment status, whether it is processed or whether it is not paid or paid, stated the payment was processed. So all kind of information can be queried using the bot without bothering the officials of the company that you are dealing with. So it's easy for the suppliers as well as for the customer who has implemented this solution. And as Paul already mentioned, that CX has variety of use cases where the product information or question answers or FAQs can be uploaded to the digital assistant, and it can help you solve a lot of customers. So without putting up a call center, you can simply direct the customer to the bot and can answer your questions without setting up a support center or a call center. So these are use cases that we have already implemented. Next talks about the digital channel support. So I think Paul already covered this. Just to put it again, that the digital assistant supports all the channels, SMS, web chat, can even extend your existing mobile app with and add a chat capability to that. About Skype for Business, like Microsoft Teams, and also voice assistants like Google, Alexa, and other systems. These are some of the use cases that we have implemented at some of the other locations, and you could see that the bots can be really very intuitive. So this was one of the use cases where we have implemented the assistant for Supplier Adversary. In this use case, the customer wanted to have a B2B kind of a platform where they come in. I mean, anybody who wants to open up a business come in and directly chat with the assistant and say, okay, I want to open up a business and I want to open up a restaurant. The digital assistant will help them to identify the right location for the restaurant. So help them connect with the different vendors that they would need. So a restaurant business would need the supplies like vegetables or grains, or so they will need wholesale suppliers. So the bot can connect them to the nearest suppliers using the back-end data set that they ever had. So that was one of the interesting use case, which was an intelligent case where that was implemented using the digital assistant. HCM, so the employee self-service. So the bot can offer multiple self-service like balance checks or raising a leave or updating profile information. I will go through this bot as a live demo. Digital assistant for planning. So if you have implemented like budgeting solution in your homegrown system or your ERP system, and if you want to query your budgets, you can chat with the assistant and check what the budgets are. Like it is the budgeted salary expense for the IT department, and it will give you the answer instantaneously without going to the system and check for it. So this is another use case where budget managers or managers can simply tap into the information without even logging into the system. So this is about the supplier self-service assistant, which I already talked about, where the supplier can do the bot and say, simply query their invoice statuses, the RS statuses, etc. To the live demonstration, where you show the digital assistant solution works.
The Facebook Messenger, where we have created the bot. The information. So I just will walk you through the two scenarios. One is the HCM, as I talked about. So for the HCM, the bot intuitively asks what needs to be done. So I can easily check my leave balance. So it will get me the results saying, okay, this is my leave balance. And it also asks me if I would like to continue the conversation, do some other task as well. So like the same question set comes up, and I just can click on, say, update the profile, and I would like to update my email address. So as you can see, it is easy to click on the pop-ups that are appearing and just continue the conversation. So say, please update my email address to Versus Global, as this is incorrect. And as soon as I press enter, the system will update the information and send them a message that the information is updated successfully. So And this is all happening real time. This is integrated with the HRMS ERP system in the backend, and the information is getting updated. So if I again go and say update my profile and say email, you will be able to see the email address that I just entered in the system. The updated is now available. So that is how quickly the integration works, and the bot is updating using the ERP services via the backend. That was about the HR chatbot that we have available for demonstration. We also have a supplier-related information where we have also implemented security related to the supplier, where the supplier is registered one time in the ERP system, and based on that ERP registration, he will be able to chat with this bot using his Facebook Messenger on his registered email address. So kind of authentication is done. Someone choose to see invoice details. So when he clicks on invoice details, the system will ask for the invoice number. So you can see just the invoice number that I know that it exists in the system. I just entered the same. I'm at many locations. What we have observed is that the invoice number is the same for multiple sites for a single supplier. So that is the reason we have kept the site as a compulsory input field for getting the status of the invoice. As we enter the site details, it will go and fetch the invoice approval status, payment status, and the amount that was claimed on the invoice. So as it's a cancelled invoice, the amount is zero and the status is not paid. The other options that the supplier could have is they can see the cancelled invoices. So when they click on cancel invoices, they can again specify which site, or whether they want to look for the same site or any other site. They can say type in the site name, and it will get the latest 4 cancelled invoices with the PO number attached. So that is how intuitive the system is. It can pick up. It's simple. You are using your mobile, and just clicking on some of the options that pop up on your screen, you'll be able to get the information that you are looking for. So that's how easy it is to configure the system and implement some use cases which really improve the process, improve the customer satisfaction, internal processes, as well as the supplier interactions that are mostly difficult in most of the organizations. That's from the demonstration side. I would like to take up some question answers. So I just navigate to the question answer screen, and
so Dhaval,
can put me.
Dhaval here. The question I have for you is, why do you have 30 days of leave? You're working too hard. You need to take some breaks in between.
Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, that has been created from the back end. So this is a demonstration system. So yeah.
No, just kidding. All right, let's take some question and answers from the audience.
Yep.
We will begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press the pound or hash key. Send a question online via Webex. Please type your question in the chat box located in the panel on the right. If you are on full screen mode, click on the Fling Tool panel located at the top of your screen and select the chat button from the drop-down menu. Once a question, you may press *1 on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. There are no questions. I would hand the conference back to today's presenter. Please continue.
Any questions? I will, Devil and I will start asking questions. If you don't answer the questions, you don't get your coffee. All right, I'm just kidding, guys. I just hope today's session was useful. I was hoping for some questions because everyone that we are speaking, be it the Bell at EvoSys or be it myself and our sales teams at Oracle, digital assistants are changing the way their customers, companies interact with their own employees, IT systems at general interact with people. So if you have any questions at all, I saw one person with their hand up. If you have any questions, just go ahead, you can unmute, ask us questions, or, want to put them in the question box, you go ahead and put them right there. But we would love to hear from you as well, even if it's not a question that you want to share of how you've been doing things, you're very welcome to share them as well. So one is, can we have a copy of the presentation or brochure? Yes, we will. I will send it out to Eva, who is our host today. Eva will be able to send out the PDF, both from my PDF as well as my presentation, as well as Eva's presentation. The next question is from a gentleman called Suresh, which has similar functionalities we have integrated with e-commerce platforms. You guys, so I kind of, sorry, Suresh had a couple of questions spread over. So Suresh has a similar solution which they're using, which they've integrated with the e-commerce and Facebook. So Suresh, I'm glad you're using, so what I can gather is Suresh is already using a solution from a third-party vendor. And I'm glad that you have started your journey for your customers to interact with you in a digital form, more through chatbots. The only request is give Oracle an opportunity to show you how that interaction can be a lot more immersive, because I don't want to mention the name of the particular vendor that you're using. I don't think it's appropriate, but I have used that particular vendor. A lot of what they do is very FAQ-oriented. It is very, monolithic. When it is a known answer, it is a known answer. If it's not a known answer, the bot many times does not know how to respond. And this is where Oracle comes in and tries to make this as natural as possible. It's pretty much like, the question that you put right now for me, Suresh, is your question was broken up into two. You said first part, you hit enter, then you went second part. So that's where natural language query makes all the difference. So if you're using this particular vendor, we're happy that you're on this journey, but do work with us. We'll be happy to set up a trial for you on the Oracle Cloud and start leveraging digital assistants. And we want to show you, and we want you to see that difference for yourself. And not have a couple of more minutes on the clock. We could end 5 minutes ahead of time. Any questions? If not, Eva, with WebEx, over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our webinar for today. Thank you for participating.